Here we go. The BBC meal plan. This is where the magic happens. I won't go into this in terms of a 30-minute video. I'll probably do that for the next page. Seeing as that I do have so much written content on this page for you, so the 60-second summary of this page, of this content, I'll go through it really quick, but really encourage you to take 5-10 minutes to read it thoroughly, step by step, and I'll just give you a little bit of a breakdown as we go through here. So the meal plan itself, this is what's going to get you the results that you want. This is where your dream body is built, essentially. So why I say that is because you can get an amazing body transformation from the food you eat if you don't exercise. More specifically for fat loss, that's the nature of the beast. If you're looking to gain muscle and you're going on the seriously curvy meal plan, now it's more 50-50. You need half the meal, half the exercise, because if the food intake isn't quite matching what the body requires in order to build muscle and strip fat, whether you're a beginner lifter, trainer, and you're trying to do both at the same time, or if you're really focused on a fat loss transformation, or if you're really focused on a seriously curvy lean muscle gain, you can't get the body of your dreams if you don't get the diet right. And in saying that, don't confuse that with needing to get the diet perfect. We just need the diet to be right 80% of the time. And in saying that, we focus on the 80-20 rule. Now, the 80-20 rule, I've probably brought it up in a different video already. Really simple. It's a universal law that applies to human beings in terms of the way they think and process and create things in their surrounding environment. So it's not so much a universal law that applies to every single living organism, but it is something that is extremely dominant and prevalent in human behavior. Now, the 80-20 rule, I'll read out a couple of examples, but you can go through this again on this page on your own time. 20% of drivers statistically cause 80% of all traffic accidents. 80% of pollution originates from 20% of factories around the world. 20% of companies' products represent 80% of the sales, and so on. I'll encourage you to read through. There is really important 20% of activities and focuses when it comes to a body transformation that we need to focus on. So the top 20%, the 20% of tasks that we need to focus on most in order to get you your 80% body transformation and then some, are these four things. We've addressed them earlier in the course. We addressed it in I think it was the workout fundamentals, and now we're looking at the number 2 point, was meal plan success. So hitting a really specific amount of daily calorie intake and hitting a really specific minimum daily protein intake. So calories, if you don't know what a calorie is, really simple. I'll get you to watch this 4-minute video as well as read this. Essentially, calories is just a way we measure literal energy. Food is made of energy, fat stored on your body is made out of energy, and we can calculate that in the thermodynamic realm of a calorie. Now, we want to hit a really specific amount of protein in our diet as well, because if we have a lesser amount of that protein, research indicates that if you don't hit a certain amount of protein per day, then instead of gaining energy to burn and create activity. So the activity will stem from having your organs function on a daily basis, bodily human functionality, to exercise, just non-exercise based tasks, so just moving around and going to work, whatnot, talking, communicating, just to burn energy. If you hit a certain amount of protein per day, your body will typically grab that energy from fat stores rather than your muscles. And at the end of the day, we really want to be focusing on a body fat percentage rate, lean muscle versus body fat, because that's a greater indicator of health versus aesthetics, and goes full circle in terms of health and your ability to self-moderate your emotions and hormones as well. So really cool. I won't dive too deep into it on this particular video. I just want to show you the page and you can read through it yourself, but I've got really cool breakdowns of really specific what is a calorie deficit, what is a calorie surplus, macros, they're your carbohydrates, fats and proteins, and a little bit of a breakdown of what they are in particular. Minimum protein intake, just talked about it. Minimum healthy fat intake, so you'll see this in your meal plan. We'll talk about it one-on-one, but I really want you to have a minimum amount of fat in your diet, because if we have too little amount of fats, our hormones can get out of whack, and that leads to excess stress, lopsided emotions, which can lead to impaired eating habits. Aiming for so if you're on this program, which you'll find out once you go to pick your BBC or meal plan goals, you can then come back and read these a bit more thoroughly as well. So I encourage you to go bounce back in between pages. But yeah, if you're aiming for seriously lean muscle gain, this is what we're going to be focusing on. If you're aiming for a fat loss transformation, this is what we're going to be focusing on. And if you're a bit either skinny fat or more of like trying to lose that last bit of stubborn body fat, then this is what we're going to be focusing on. And these are the meal times. Essentially, like, don't take it too seriously, the meal times. This is just an example, so it's nothing set in stone on this program, this diet and recovery dieting. I'll talk about recovery dieting really specifically in the video at the bottom of this page. But this is essentially what it looks like. Now, the brunches and the afternoon snacks are very much optional, and if they work for you, they work for you. And the phase one, it all depends on your goals. So this take this with a grain of salt, but it's just a really great visualization of what we're looking for on the program. Recovery dieting. So recovery dieting, again, I'll talk about it a little bit further down the program. Essentially, it's based on working what's best for you and recovering from your dietary slip-ups. And it's a combination of recovery from your workouts as well. So the term recovery, I was a little concerned that it can be misconstrued as recovering from eating habit disorders, whereas the actual term itself, the way I've described it and put it into the course, into the booty building challenge, in which I'll probably create more social media content on, recovery dieting is very much so based on recovering from dietary slip-ups, and that we don't demonize them, we learn from them and make changes accordingly, which is why the one-on-one training, the one-on-one meal plan, the one-on-one check-ins is so important for your ability to succeed and build that long-term habit. So you don't need a personal trainer, you don't need a one-on-one coach after you do this program. This is the most important element here. We recover your relationship with food, your relationship with slipping up on your diet, so you're able to do this on your own and be self-motivated, be more independent and more self-reliant on your dietary and fitness workout habits. So that's where the term comes from. As you'll see in the workout, if you haven't seen it already, it's a lot of the program is based on recovering from workouts as well. But if we look at, I do have some really set protocols in here. So it's a form of reverse pyramid training and personal best training, relaxed intermittent fasting, and non-restrictive dieting, whatever works for you. So really cool stuff. I'll get you to read through. So if you're on the fat loss transformation or the stubborn body fat, this is the goals that we're going to be targeting in terms of your timing and what food quantities we're going to be looking for throughout the day. Essentially, you're more disciplined at the start of the day than you are at the end of the day. That's it. We use this to our advantage when creating your diet and meal plans. So if you struggle to get food in, we're going to be eating more food at the start of the day. If you struggle to succumb to your cravings later on in the night, then we're going to be really we're going to be really disciplined at the start of the day, knowing that you like to eat more volume, more sweet tooth or savory foods later at night, and save some calories for then, as well as blunt that appetite a little bit prior, so you're full and emotionally satisfied throughout the meals throughout the day, so you're less likely to gorge on food later on. Beautiful. Have a read through all these terms, what they mean. This is just an example of being on this diet and calorie intake. The BBC meal plans, a little bit of extra reading about each part of the day, each part of the meals, and the recovery dieting. So I'll create a new video for specifically recovery dieting and go into these 80-20 lists. These are the Bible aspects when it comes to the recovery diet. So yeah, get excited and let's get into it. Cheers.